All right, cool.
3, 2, let's go.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Byron Allen, and welcome to another episode of Calisthenics over Caffeine. I am your host, and once again, we're ready to get into the actual factuals. We got somebody that's well known in the calisthenics. Yeah, you can turn that off, Maya. Go ahead. Be free flowing. We had some jams going on in the background because we had to set the vibe, right? But as we were saying, we have somebody who is well known in New York City calisthenics culture for decades, been laying down the groundwork, the framework, and the foundation of a lot of what you see today. We got Q Friends, the health advocate in the building. Hey, yo!
All right.
Let's go. BX is in the building. You already know what time it is,
Big
man.
BX energy.
Absolutely, man. And once again, like we always say with every guest, just thanks for coming. 100 grand, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pull up. It's cold outside. It's about to snow tomorrow, y'all. The winter is officially here in New York City. And for anybody to go out of their way and make a trip like this, much appreciated. My brother.
For sure,
right?
man.
No doubt.
Remember, this ain't my first time. This ain't my first rodeo. This is just a new setup.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Q Friends. Shout out to CCA, the Competitive Calisthenics Association, in which we have a great partnership. Shout out to all involved, the families, everybody that's behind the scenes doing their thing. Steph, what's up, baby?
Yes, sir. Boss lady.
Absolutely. So shout out to everybody on that end. But let's get right into it. Listen, I know there are a lot of questions out there that people are asking. They might not come to you and ask you, maybe they have, but a lot can happen in a year. Mm-hmm. And a lot has transpired and a lot has not transpired. The first thing I want to ask you is, what's going on with the CCA? Is there anything that you want the public to know about? We were looking forward to some competitions that didn't come to fruition. Put us on what's really good.
CCA will and will always stand for competition. We're here to uplift the sport. Right? That said, we can't force anybody. Right? So we had to take this year as kind of step back and reflect. Of course, we tried to host a couple competitions, didn't pan out. And it's purely because athletes didn't show up, sign up, were not interested, and we had to make changes. So we even had athlete concerns that the weight that we wanted them to lift and so forth was too much. Make this very clear.
So wait a minute, we're talking about like the power classics?
Power pole classics, they were saying that the 135 or the 90 pounds, whatever it was too much. They wanted to dumb it down. Now I can understand that the ladies were asking, but the ladies had a different weight. I haven't had one complaint from a female athlete. So all male athletes, some that have followed every single event, have sent 100 questions and never participated, and some just said that they're just not ready for it. So we said, we're gonna step back. I started to put myself out there a little bit more, trying to train some athletes and give people some tips on how to become better, because without a better athlete, we need a better competition. So we're gonna try it again next year. We will always host competitions with rules and regulations. This year, it seemed, for some reason, I ain't gonna say for some reason, because we've seen it over the years also. It's nothing new.
Right.
It's just not that time for it in a sense. So we're gonna let everybody do what they do until they come back to what sport is supposed to look like.
I appreciate that right there, because that leads into where I wanna go as far as the culture and what the sport is supposed to look like. Now, we always know that those of us that come from a certain generation, a lot of us did it out of the love for it. We were in it. This is what we did. Like we always say, this is a lifestyle, not a fad. See that right there? I'm going to break the fifth wall on that one, Maya. Hold that down, all right? But anyway, yeah, this is a lifestyle for us when it comes to this calisthenics thing. So we were just out there in the park doing our thing. Do you think money is the issue?
Money,
the fact that they aren't getting paid what they feel they should or want.
But what is that? You understand? This thing hasn't been around long enough for them to dictate how much they should get paid to do something. And then personally, why would you pay anybody to participate? What other sport does that except a professional sport?
They might, some of these athletes consider themselves professional now, Q. So if they're carrying that moniker, there are other leagues out there that are trending in that direction or are there, and we know what those are. So there may be some comparison issues. You think that's what it is?
Is every athlete in any other competition getting paid for it a pro? That's the question. If it's my first competition and I get paid to compete in it, of course, that's going to set a tone. But if you don't win, what tone is it setting? So, once again, if you got the money to pay athletes to participate, by all means, go ahead. What that does for the longevity of the sport, I have no clue, because I don't know of any other sport that starts off like that. You prove that you're good. The sport itself grows to the point where you can make a living, not just a paycheck for that event, but a living doing the sport. That's what we're working on. Like every other sport. We're not rewriting the book. Every other sport builds up to the point where it can be your livelihood. I'm here to say that we're working on that from the ground floor. It's a huge, daunting task, to say the least, but we're just a few years in. I'm not scared at all.
Right.
The amount of time I put into this sport, the amount of time we put into CCA is this much compared to how much I've already put into this sport. What we're doing now is new. And if we're the first to do it, so be it.
What do you think about bias amongst the athletes? Because it's definitely there here in New York. There is a biasness when it comes to the athletes. People do pick sides. Athletes do pick sides according, I feel, to who can treat them the best, either monetarily wise or any other way of gain. What is your thoughts with that? Because it's palatable. We can sense it, but no one wants to speak on it.
You know, it's again, this is nothing new again. You should go to who is treating you right, as long as they're treating you right.
I agree.
You know, as long as they're treating you right.
Right.
Because these same people that felt that they were being treated right have come to me and said that they would like to work with me or be part of what we're doing, because they, after dealing with other people and other things, feel like they were treated the way they should with us. And I appreciate that, because that's what we wholeheartedly want to put out there to the world. You should go with the people that are taking care of you or that are treating you with the utmost respect. We hope to be one of those, that group of people that you hold that confidence in, and we hope to uphold what we've already been doing, which is hopefully taking care of the athletes, making them feel like they've been treated fairly, and hosting a competition that they can be proud of, win or lose. Because millions of people run a marathon. I've said this 100 times. Millions of people run a marathon for a participation medal. What's the difference here? It's the accomplishment, not the accolades. So if millions of people could fail to win a marathon, they fail to win it, because you can't even compete for the winning portion of the marathon, but feel proud with a medal. We're trying to give you a little bit more than that, right? We're giving you a little bit more than just a medal. So come to CCA. We'll take care of you.
What do you think, or how do you think emotional health and mental health has a part in this whole thing? Because it could be that people are dealing with so much on the outside that it takes their joy away from either competing or putting their all in this calisthenics culture. What do you feel?
I say, if you have the courage to go to an event, go to the event. And let that be your deciding factor. Not based on the things you see, the things you hear from other people. Experience it for yourself, which is why I say come to ours. It's not run the same. The time frame is different. We have staff in place to guide you throughout the whole process if you're just there watching. And then we're very reachable. Connect with us. We even have a mental health initiative. We held a mental health talk a couple years ago. Lord Vital Beast participated in this. Appreciate him.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember pulling up into that.
You were there too. So this is all part of our initiative, is to recognize people's mental health and knowing that physical fitness can and will benefit your mental health. And it is part of what we're doing. It will be a bigger part of our structure once we build it out and we grow. My partner, John McLeod, this is what he does.
John, what up?
He has that program that he's already doing professionally. So it only makes sense that we bring that to CCA. But part of that is coming to us and witnessing what we're doing and feeling comfortable in that space, because I can't dictate that. That's why I say go. Don't see and listen to outside sources that have had a bad experience with one person that's part of an organization. Go, connect, do research, reach out to us. I answer a lot of those messages, those DMs. Very reachable, we're hosting events where you could come and talk to me. And my staff, Stephanie, has numerous relationships she's gained over the past couple of years by being that person that athletes speak to. They love her. Like, they've literally come and told me that they love her. Their whole journey with her guiding them has been the best that they've had dealt with. So we take those in our pocket when we think of all the bad things that people might say, because I could care less. And it comes. Why doesn't it? Hate comes when you're doing something well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
bring it
trust me, I
on.
know
Bring
that.
it on.
100%. Do you think it's an issue of because it's you and not someone else? Because I'm thinking, like, does the CCA get the respect it deserves as an organization and what they provide for the community? Because honestly, I don't feel like it's there. You guys do a lot. Shout out to the Competitive Calisthenics Association for always putting on a platform other people, other brands. You go into CCA stories, you're gonna always see you guys promoting people. It don't matter who it is. Now, there's some clowns out there, of course, that there isn't a partnership and a relationship, and that's understandable. But for the most part, you guys are always promoting. I feel like that is so amazing because no one else is doing that. To bring that question back around, do you think you get the respect you deserve?
I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking for it. When people I respect tell me that they respect what I do, I appreciate it. But to be honest with you, I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking for praises and accolades. I'm looking for athletes to tell me that they had a great event. That's my biggest. That's the biggest accolade I could potentially want and is looking for. Outside, I could really care less. I don't care what people are saying. I don't read into any of it because it's a distraction. The goal is to win, and everything else is going to deter that. I don't pay attention to it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking for it. I'm looking for my staff to tell me what I'm doing wrong over what I'm doing right. If they tell me that everything is right, then I'm like, yo, I'm gonna need you to be more honest or get somebody else to tell me, because there's no way. Like, I'm never satisfied. Right? That's one thing about me. I'm never satisfied. And like you said, do I think it's like me in front? Like, for the most part, I don't want to be the face of all of this. I have to be, because we have to get this thing going. But my whole goal in all of this is to disappear behind the scenes.
I'm right there with you, bro.
Because again, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about what we're building. We are building, and there's many people helping this. I just happen to be the one that has to talk. It's not even a thing. I have to do this. So until I don't have to anymore, I'm gonna be in front of this camera. I'm gonna be standing in front of all these events. I'm gonna be holding all these microphones. My bed's gonna be full gray. Like I said,
I'm gonna join you there soon, baby.
like I said, this is the last thing I'm committing to before I go, before I leave this earth, is this CCA thing, because it has to win. It has to win. I believe in it too much.
It has. You know what? It has won to this point. I think sometimes time can pass so fast we can't celebrate the wins. CCA has done so much for the community. When you look back, and like I always told you before, I think it was on Instagram or something, you are a keeper of records as well. The CCA having the podcast as well, interviewing great athletes in the culture, putting forth these platforms to boost these athletes in a light that's, quite frankly, wholesome more than anything. And it's an inviting thing. So it's important. And I always want to make sure that you guys get that respect, even though you're not looking for it. It's needed, because I always say, who else would have done it? Imagine if the CCA didn't exist. Think about it.
But that's why it does exist, because I know it had to be done. You know, it had to be done. So I was like, who else but us? Who else but us? If we didn't do it, nobody else was gonna do it. So all aspects of it. Again, the interviews with all these legendary athletes, that will continue. I had a bunch of no's. Yeah,
be like that.
Yeah,
That's
mind you,
understandable.
I am not.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm like, by all means, maybe later on.
Right.
But we had some great interviews. But again, it's me. I did a lot of those, right? I did a lot of those. John did one, and we even had Red come in and do mine, right? Which I was
One of the
against.
first
I
ones?
didn't even want to do mine. I didn't want to do it. But
Shout out to Red Bandana,
it's part of it because it's the history of this whole
course.
entire thing that what we do. And we have some stuff coming up. Like I have some footage saved that I plan on putting out. The real thing, the real thing was when we dropped those videos. I didn't realize how much of it it'll take out of me, like emotionally, because we went through a lot of stuff. That interview with Zeph is one of my favorite interviews, and it's one of the reasons why we picked the direction. Like you said, we're not being malicious about anybody. We keep it very positive, right? We keep it very positive, even though some people wanted to talk about old drama and stuff like that. I'm like, no, you have to evolve. That was then. We're talking about you now. And then we could talk about the history. So it's more about the people themselves. Of course, we got the history of everything else, but that's small compared to the person. So it really took a lot out of me because there's a lot of research that I did on these people. I mean, I know them, but then I had to still go back and listen to old interviews of them, not to mimic them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought that went into it, man. So I don't want to do it again and dumb it down.
Right. Because
I felt those were quality, and the craziest thing is I don't rewatch them. I watch bits and pieces of them because I don't want to watch myself. It's a whole thing.
I understand exactly what you mean.
And I realize it's deeper into it because I'm dyslexic. I have dyslexia, and that's part of it. I really critique myself a lot, so I tend to like back away from it.
Right.
But definitely a lot more of that coming. I've spoke to some people, and like I said, we got some stuff in the vault that we're gonna release, but we just have to do it better. That's all.
Yeah. I agree with that too, especially to your point when you said holding on to things from the past. And I have, a thought process about that. And we've spoken about it before when it comes to this calisthenics culture and lifestyle that, we knew these people, especially in the New York area. There's relationships that people from the outside would never understand. Right. Because there was a point where, for a lot of us, I know in Wingate Park, for me, and the same with you, up there in the Bronx, you saw certain people day after day. You know their personalities, you know their quirks, you know if they're on that bullshit, you know it. Right. But it's not for us to call that out on them because everybody deserves grace. For me, it's like this, all right, there's people who have conducted themselves in a manner that was unbecoming in this calisthenics community. Very successful now in it. For me, it's like, I'm not gonna beat you up about it because I don't want you to beat me up about my shortcomings because it's growth and it's maturity. But however, if you have put yourself in a space time and time again to show who you are, if you showed your ass, if you treated me disrespectfully time after time, and I let it slide out of respect of the Almighty Creator, at some point it's like, I'm gonna leave you right here because you're not good for my mental health. You're not good for my emotional health because you are the way you are. So I'm gonna be over here and you can be over there. And there's no beef, it's just sometimes pyramids need space. Right. I heard a great quote from somebody that when you go to Egypt, you don't just see one pyramid. Because I know people when it comes to Wingate, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm gonna come back around to UQ. People wonder, you have the barbarians here and you got Team Wingate here, and then now you have this Wingate World Unlimited. People are confused, they don't know what's going on. And a great person said that as Wingate is considered the Mecca, when you go to the Mecca, when you go to Egypt, you don't just see one pyramid, you don't just see one pharaoh face. You see multiple. Now some might be bigger than others, but you have those and they all have treasures within, So you just gotta choose which works for you. There is not one constant. No one is in control of it all, which I think can tend to be an ego thing. I know I'm talking a lot, Q, but I feel like I needed to get that off because there is, people won't ask questions and they tend to formulate a story in their mind based off a bit of information they think they know. And sometimes when you're too quiet about a certain situation, they'll draw a conclusion based on what they think they see. And one thing I always want to tell people, what you think you know ain't always what it is.
Far from it. Far from it. I've had to confront plenty of that. Plenty of that. Plenty of that. The people at boldface come to me and told me stories that is far from truth. Based on, like you said, little bits and pieces they've heard, somebody ran with it and came back to me, and I'm like, that is far from true. So I get it. And I'm not the person that's gonna put my whole life out there like that. You wanna hear something from me, come talk to me. Simple as that.
Likewise. I feel the same way. And I think sometimes due to that opportunity, a lot of people don't want to know. They want to be, what's the word? Purposely, when you don't want to know the truth.
Ignorant.
Like dense, like you want to be in the dark about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't want to know because you know that if you really knew what went down in your soul, it would mess with you because you know it ain't right.
Yeah.
That wasn't right what that person did or what they did. Because now, in the social media age, you can change the whole thing now. You can create a whole different world.
You could talk crazy about somebody for 15 days, not tag them, have a whole world of people agree with you, and the other person not have a single clue anything about it and generate hundreds of enemies. That's my life right now. That's my life right now.
Nasty,
and let me tell you, I could care less.
Well, I do. I hate it.
I know, of course I hate it.
You know me.
I hate
I'm
it,
the sensitive one. I say it in a minute. That's why they don't want to talk to me because they know I'm going to come with that real. That's just how I move. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always, like I tell my wife, I would rather, I go straight to it. Whatever it is, like my uncles down south used to say, we go straight to the gristle. We cut all the meat off the bone, all the fat. We getting past all that. If you really want to know what's really, really good, if you don't want to hear me get on my body, don't ask me, you know what I'm saying? But in the spirit of grace, because I feel like anybody that survived the pandemic deserves grace, especially if they look like us.
For sure.
And if they're a man. Every man deserves happiness, especially when you're trying to do some type of good. Yeah, we can make missteps. Yeah, we can treat each other roughly at times. But everybody's going through something. And the calisthenics culture and world is not so different.
Right.
People ain't got jobs. Some people, when it comes to this calisthenics thing, all they have is the bar. And I have to, we are OGs in this game now. It's up to us to respect that. And sometimes it's best to just, leave that person where that is.
Oh, that's the easiest thing.
And that person can be very successful.
Yep.
But I know, especially in New York City, we know. It's just unspoken most times, you know what I'm saying? And I'm wondering sometimes, is that the reason why people are choosy about certain things or certain individuals? Conversations are had on the outside, group texts.
No, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, and I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been confessed. People have confessed this to me. Like literally, people have apologized to me for opinions they've had based on somebody else.
Right.
And again, I'm glad you told me in person. So that's one less person I need to care about. That's the way I feel about it. If you have a problem, then let me know. So I know not to treat you the way I was planning on treating you. Now I got to guard myself around you. Now I got to watch my people around you.
Right.
But let me know. It's easy to not be cool with me.
Right.
I would prefer it because I know. Instead of you being right here, trying to play both sides
for what you can do
and
for
all
me.
this other stuff, right? We've even
There's a lot of that.
We've even had people wanting to be part of the organization just to learn and feed back information someplace else.
Nasty word.
Go someplace else with that, man. I ain't got time for that. I really don't.
The game is the game. It's part of it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
some
definitely
things you
part
got to
of
look out. And I understand that because, everybody's trying to get ahead at the end of the day. Everybody doesn't have integrity. They may preach it, but they don't have it, bro.
Can't sell it.
Come on, man. You can say all you want to, but the proof is in the pudding. And I always say, guilty men always try to change history. But what stops that is the people who were there as well. The people who were there in the same events, when these guilty men get to try to restructuring, all women, because it's not gender specific. It goes around the board.
Right.
You can try to rebrand yourself for the public, but that doesn't change what you did to get to where you are.
And people that witnessed it.
And the people that saw it.
That's we are.
Exactly.
Those historians. That's why what we do is so necessary.
The historians typically are not the most well-liked in the kingdom.
Because they know the dirt.
They know
That's the facts. That's the facts. Somebody told me that. They was like, yo, you a scary person because you know a lot of dirt. And I was like, yeah, but it's not stuff that I talk about. This is confidential things that I have between this other person. But the only person need to worry about that is the person that told me. but not for the reason I'm going to go and blab it. If you talk crazy about me, I'm like, well, what is the matter with you? Do you not remember? Like,
exactly.
So
that's the one-on-one conversation, and that's, I think, is a part of us being OGs in this community and showing the way.
Right.
Because I'm going to get to another question there, because this community had older gentlemen, but a lot of them fell off. They're not consistent, and it's just not there to keep the records. They're just not there. And I saw a need for it. You saw a need for it. And here we are. And I think it's one of the most important things outside of the actual reps.
Yep.
Is remembering what happened, reminding the people, because on the average, the people don't care.
No.
Most of them don't. But it has to be there. Every era, I would like to say BCE, before a content era, there were records, there were videos when people started. Shout out to everybody that started shooting videos from that time period, from the early 2000s, late 99 bartenders, all that stuff. Those are records. And you think about the stuff that wasn't on camera, that was like, dang, I wish we had a camera. Remember this, remember that? So this is why this is so important. Speaking of which, how do you feel about the new generation upcoming in calisthenics? It's a whole new crowd. It seemed like overnight, in the last year and a half, there's a whole new, I guess you would say, flock of individuals. It's a new way of doing things. Kind of old school. What's your feelings on it?
So I give it the politically correct answer, which is that because this politically correct answer is very significant.
Right.
Because now there's hundreds of kids going to these parks, right? And meeting up and working out. Those same kids could be shooting up the block. They could be shooting up the block. So everybody that has ever confronted me about this, even the New York Times, they got a New York Times article recently, right? Now, it's a friend of mine that works for the New York Times that sent me the article. No, he let me know that there would be an article. And I was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's it. He wanted input, but I'm like, no, it's their time. let them do what they do. And my whole statement was that I said, if you say anything, make sure the world knows that these young kids, these the same young kids walking around with shiesties and all this other stuff, they could be doing a lot of other things. They're in the park working out. And for that, I went up there, because I'm talking specifically about Brotherhood, 161st Street.
Yeah.
I went up there and I witnessed it at least 3 or 4 times, just to go there and just check it out, see what's going on, because I'm always looking for athletes, right? So I went to see what it was, who's the strongest one out there and all these other stuff, just to pay attention. And I realized, you know what?
It's official.
I need to move away from it. No,
Why you say that?
because I didn't feel like it was a space for me to become there, because I always at all times want to teach. There was so much going on. They was filming content, everything else, right? Mostly content. And I was like, you know what? They're enjoying themselves. Let me leave them alone. I ain't gonna force myself on I don't force myself on nobody, right? But at the same time, I want to see who the athletes are. So I saw a couple people connected with them, reached out to them. It's like, hey, I do this thing, have a couple competitions going on. And I would not doubt somebody said something bad about that, because then I realized they're not competing and they don't understand that there's standards. And that's why I backed away. In that group, again, there are some athletes in there, and I sent them information like, hey, this is what is expected, full lockouts, chin over the bar, sent them some competitions. And they said they were interested in doing that. Remember, I said it's 100 of them. I might have got 5.
No.
And that's my problem. I need all of you young people that like sports to start realizing that this could be your sport and should be your sport, not your trend, not something for likes, but there's a potential for you to actually become great at a sport that you're already doing. So that's my message to them, that keep doing what you're doing, but understand there's another level to this.
Right.
Now, I'll definitely want you to come to CCA. There's plenty other competitions that you could take part in, and I want you to take part in all of them, because we don't do enough for you to make enough money on.
Right. You can go.
Go to all of them. Become the best athlete you could be and come back to us and beat everybody that we have.
Stack reps, baby. Stack wins. Do what you do. That's a part of it, I feel.
That's what I'll tell you. The sport part is missing. The sport aspect is missing. When I was playing basketball, everybody know that when you go to Brooklyn, it might play a little different, but the end goal is to win. And then you don't win, you go back and train and come back and get better. This is still that. Not that you're doing the same move that we've been doing since 2019. No, correction, 2009. Tired of seeing the same move. Tired of seeing all the same moves and everybody clapping for it. I get it. It's new for you, but I need you to do it cleaner.
Well, you know you can't have no say-so no more. You're going to be called a hater.
That's
Real quick,
okay.
Somebody waiting to call somebody a hater. That's waiting.
You can call me a hater, but I'm willing to test you on the bar, though.
Okay.
Because this is cheap. This is cheap.
Indeed.
At the end of the day, this old man will still give you some numbers.
Indeed. Likewise.
And that's what I care about.
Yeah.
I want you to get mad to the point where you want to touch me, batter me on that bar. Then I'm just like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? Talk is cheap. I don't care about no talk. Let's get to this bar work.
I always say, I said, listen, I may not do the numbers and reps I once did, but I'll nickel and dime you all day long. I'll nickel and dime you all day. Y'all doing all them big reps. Salute. I respect it. I was there. But I'll outlast you. You know what I'm saying? I'll outwork you, baby, because that's what we do. Like, our bodies are conditioned to go rep after rep. There's a certain point, and I know you know about it, Q, when you burn out on that bar and you feel super fatigued, but for some reason, your body keeps going. It keeps like regenerating.
That's training.
Does that make sense to you?
That's training.
Like, I can see myself, like, say, like, okay, on a typical day, it happened to me last week. Nothing crazy, 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, down to 1. Pretty decent when you're going, pretty decent. And I thought I was gonna be well tired, and I was. I said, let me throw another 10 in. Threw another 10 in, and then that's when, you know, the endorphins is flowing. I got another 10. Oh, I got 15 in me. Let me see if I got 20. Oh, that was a little tough, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the things that when people start talking, they haven't been to that before.
Right. Because they haven't trained that hard. They haven't pushed themselves to any limit that would warrant that. You know, they just, and again, for the most part, they're doing it for content.
You know what, this is my thing, and you spoke to it. There is some clout chasing in calisthenics. There is, and there's some trendiness. But like you say, if you're gonna clout chase, and if you're gonna be trending, you're doing something healthy. And it's changing your body, and it's gonna be well for you and your mental. So clout chase away when it comes to calisthenics.
Right. Keep working out.
Keep doing it.
Just keep working out, though.
I don't care if you're doing your little 30 seconds run out influencer thing. Keep doing it because it's still like it's positive.
Yeah. The amount of people that send me videos of just all of this new stuff that's trending. Yo, you saw this? I'm like, what did you do though? So I went to the park and did some work. I was like, good.
Yeah.
Keep watching
Keep
it. If that's
that.
the motivation you need,
Right.
keep doing it.
Right.
That's why I said I will never knock what they're doing, but I would love for them to come back to the competitive realm.
Right.
Come to the competitive realm.
Yeah.
You know, and not the competing that they're doing against each other, because none of them reps is gonna count. We keep it a buck. Not a single one of those reps are gonna count. Not an official competition. Well, not any of the competitions that we do. Make it very clear.
Yo, shout out to Rousset and Mex with I like their style. That dead stop lockout on the push and on the pull-ups and all that stuff. Chef's kiss, baby, because that is a game changer.
Because remember, you have to slow down these athletes. You have to standardize this. If you're strong, you have to prove you're strong, not that you have momentum. So you gotta slow them down.
Anybody can turn their RPMs up.
Right.
But can you give slow quality reps? That changes the game, that cuts the reps in half. The great ones can do it beyond that, and that's the great ones. But on average, as a competitor, they don't want that smoke because it changes everything.
Because it's hard. But this is a sport.
Right.
Sport is where
Do you think it's too hard? Do you think the requirements for the CCA is too much?
If I could do it, that's the parameter right there.
But maybe not.
But no, I understand that, and I can understand it can be hard for people.
Right.
But the whole entire true goal of this, if we give you 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, and tell you there's a competition, you should be training for that. If you can't figure out how to achieve this, I have the program, I have the blueprint, I can give it to you, I can train with you. These are all of the options available to you once you committed to compete in the competition. I need you to commit and say, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Now, mind you, the whole thing is on us. We have to make it more appealing to them, right? That said, I'm gonna need y'all to show up because I can't not have another competition where we only have 20-something people and these sponsors are looking to invest big money. And we got a bad turnout. And again, this is all part of it.
Right.
You know, it happens. Who hasn't had to deal with those kind of issues? But it's a lot of people doing it right now.
Right.
A lot of people.
But I will say, Q, I'm gonna go back to it. It comes down to a lot of times, what are you offering me? Because
Right.
like, these athletes are different nowadays. They don't have the love for it like we did, like we do. Like there wants to be some incentive. What can you do for me?
So here's the thing. The competitions that do have incentive, can they compete in it? No, this is a real yes or no answer. They can't because they're picking the ones that pay. You're not on that list, buddy. You need to compete more so they can see that you're strong. So it goes back to exactly what I
Can I
said.
say something?
What up?
Go.
I mean, if that's the case, then why don't you just get your own sponsor? As an athlete,
The athletes themselves, you're saying?
Oh no, so that exists. That exists. Because we've had athletes, Wamu has a sponsor.
Right.
And his sponsor helped get him to New York.
Right.
So that does exist.
so then
But Wamu has been competing in every competition he could possibly done. So it goes back to that.
Right.
He deserves that because he's been putting in
The work
that
he
work.
put in.
that's what I'm
So now a sponsor says, yeah, we want to put this and that. We want you to wear our stuff and everything else. Say, hey, I got a competition in such and such. They'll pay for that.
right. So put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the correct work with the right people.
Right.
And that's important because I see a lot of athletes, they want to get sponsored just from being an athlete and being an influencer, and it don't work that way.
But no, it does work if you do it right. But you're not competing. You're just a personality that's getting sponsored to just be a personality.
you got to have some personality too.
But no, you don't. All you got to do is a bunch of funny push-ups.
Sometimes, I don't know. It's like I told Nigel, to your point, it's like this. Everybody that competes isn't the most marketable.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that are more marketable that don't compete and can win like this. Like I told Q, like I told Q, like I told Nigel, I told Mayan, there are creatures out here in these caves, these calisthenic caves that don't come out. They're ogre in them their heels. You get what I'm saying? Naima, what up? There are creatures in these hills that don't come out, and they have their own. They sitting on their porch like Thanos.
Yeah.
Just because they don't compete. That's
Right.
not their thing.
They're just strong be strong.
The strongest, right here in New York City, you wouldn't believe. I think those are the ones that really want the incentive. Those are the ones that really want to come off, their thrones.
But then again, remember, these people are not really pushing themselves to be that internet person. They're not joining anything. So somebody will have to see them. Right. So they have to be seen. Right. So I have 4 people like that.
Right.
That would literally wash everybody up.
Right.
But they have no interest in this whatsoever, based on something bad they saw, and they refuse to look at everything else. And I get it. I'm not going to force you, but there's a lot of people like that. I go to a bunch of different gyms all the time, and there's just random athletes that do regular workouts that'll wash a lot of these people up. But they have no interest in being in the light.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but are you interested in sport? They will play another sport, but they just can't see the value in calisthenics. So our job is to make it valuable to them.
I understand that. It's the part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the same way. That's one of the main reasons. I'm like, first of all, I didn't get into calisthenics to compete anyway. That's just me. However, I do respect the athletes that do and that build their lives around it because it's important to them. Why not support them? So I get that $100,000. It's just, just want to understanding the health of it all and, how these athletes think and how they move. What do you think about beef in calisthenics? Beef as in we've seen it from the Facebook days. I was there. I seen it firsthand with some of the old brands that aren't as active, going back and forth in the comments over stuff that I just didn't understand. Here we are in 2024. It's the same thing. You have big personalities from different regions, and they're antagonistic to a degree. What's your thoughts on it?
I find it funny. I find it absolutely funny, especially the current day ones,
Right.
because the current day ones don't really exist.
How you say that?
Because they're huge misunderstandings to start with. Couple in particular, they started off with a huge misunderstanding. It's not even what people are seeing, right? But the way social media works, you could put up a video saying something. Somebody in the comments have turned it into something else, and then it just generates, and then somebody sees it, and it becomes a problem. I don't think there's a beef. I don't think there's a beef now.
Right.
I don't think it even exists now.
Right.
Beats fighting.
Oh, not even. Since that's the main backdrop, bring your stuff around to the corner we can, and on this other side where the water is. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think the beef is what people think it is.
Right.
I don't think it is at all. I think it's just all a bunch of misunderstandings, which is what this beef usually is. But right now, I think what people are all flustered about is over nothing.
I mean, is it over nothing or is it? Oh, yeah. I got that. 1 second, my bad. That was bound to happen. Yeah. No, I got it right here. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Shout out to Lounge Studios, baby. Right, Maya, man, always showing us love, doing us right. Only the best in the city, but one of them. You know how it is. But yeah, I get what you're saying. All to do about nothing, you think?
Yeah, because I mean, like...
all for entertainment?
One in particular is such a huge misunderstanding, and I don't even want to get into it because I have actual footage of the conversation. So that's going to be further on down the line, if it's even worth it. Right? But it started with a huge misunderstanding, and somebody pulled out a camera. So again, what everybody's all up in ears about, and people that are not even involved in it, getting involved in it, I need y'all to stop, cut it out. Go do something else with your life, for real, because it ain't really what y'all think it is.
Social media shenanigans.
Yeah, that's all it is. Social media doing what it does.
Right.
Because back in the day, it wasn't the same thing. It was the same thing. Like you said, we had Facebook beefs. Brotherhood had a Facebook beef against Beast Mode. What did we do? We met up in the park and battled 3 times. That's how you end a beef.
Right.
Because the beef ended.
Right.
The first time it ended. After the first time it ended. Brotherhood versus Team Gator. Bartenders were there for that.
Team Gator.
Beef ended that day. Like, that's how it ends, brother. Like, you have a problem with another person.
Put in that work.
And it's, remember, the beef is supposed to be over fitness, right? Who's better than who? Prove it. Period. End. Do it on CCA. We'll create the event and broadcast it for you. Simple as that.
Might have to bring that Brinks truck out, man. We got to figure something out, right? Brinks TV. We'll talk about that later on, right, man? We'll see what's going on. But yeah, I think too, I would in the future, especially in 2025, and of course I'm gonna always include CCA as far as as long as we have this positive relationship. I do want to tap into these companies that want to put a little paper in some of these athletes' pockets, you know what I'm saying? Set up a showcase of sorts, because I would ask you, okay, maybe you don't have the number of athletes for a CCA. Would you be open, a CCA event, would you be open to a showcase where it's maybe a 4 or a playoff, 6, 3 against 3 for Miss Naima Heard? Thank you. Thank you, man. But, yeah, what did you feel about that if we were able to conjure up something of that sort?
This is what we do. This is what we do. You have athletes, we have athletes. Our main purpose is to broadcast, showcase, and facilitate fitness events. So we show up with judges, rules and regulations, and broadcasters, and cameras, and we make it as best as we humanly possibly can.
Good to know.
All forms of fitness, all B's, but we're very strict about rules and regulations. Even if it's battles, we need both athletes to agree to rules and regulations. This is simple. This is simple stuff.
Right.
Because
from
what I've seen with battles, it's a free-for-all, and that can't be, especially when you got money coming up. Because you can't tell me that my reps and that person reps that don't look the same both qualify, and we going for money. that would be a problem for me.
$5,000 first to 100 muscle-ups and 100 squats, 100 push-ups, $5,000. Quickest, 1, 2, 3. Full lockout,
That's an event. We got judges to rep it.
5,000, 5K, bing, bing. Who would go for that? I think a few athletes would go for that. I think we can get one of those ogres, some of those creatures from Middle Earth to pull up.
I would
Perhaps.
love to see the ones that think they're ready.
Full lockout,
That think
100
they
muscle
know.
ups, 100 squats, 100 push-ups for 5K. Think about it. Anyway, so that's just one of the things that I've just been thinking about as far as, you know, showcase. It's not like a competition, you know, it's what we call it, like prize fighting. I'm interested in it, but kind of like not what Tyson and this kid did, but on an even playing field where we all can eat. And that's including the broadcast, that's including everybody that's involved, you know, including the athletes. And I think we're going to get to it.
No,
We're
it
gonna
has
get to it.
It has to
We're gonna
happen
get to
because
it.
these conversations are already being had.
Okay.
We just
Say no more.
need
Say no more.
athletes to commit.
There we go. Say no more. Say no more. And listen, this is the reason why we're having these conversations, because they aren't being had. There's no other platform doing it this way, especially for the New York City culture. The athletes need to hear that there are opportunities that are going to be made. We're working behind the scenes constantly. I know you guys are. I am definitely. And we're going to get to it. As we close up here, the future of the CCA, what does Hugh Friends have going on? What is going down for the new year?
As far as CCA goes, we have spent the whole year working on the business side of it. So the back end, locking in all the legal aspects of what we're doing and all the things that we have coming forward. Also trying to solidify and build a bigger team because we need a huge team of people to get this thing going on the level that we plan on. And there's some like other groups of people, especially production people that we plan on working with that we are also locking in. So February 22nd is the date for the next upcoming event.
Okay.
We call it the weighted calisthenics battle. That is the title for now. I mean, I didn't.
You know, you can always.
I figured we was gonna change it up, but
February 27th?
that's what it is now. Yeah, but February 22nd, 2025 will be the first event that will be at an indoor gym, which is Uptown Strength NYC.
So is
Shout out
that
to
the
my
new gym
boy
that you're
Thomas.
working at? Because I was hoping you mentioned that.
Yeah, so every Friday they have what they call like Friday. We call it like Friday at the bar. We've been calling it.
Cool.
So the gym has a open gym. It's usually from like 9 to 9, something like that, something crazy like that. But it's usually $30 at the space. But on Fridays, it's half off using the promo code Big Friday. So $15, you get to use the gym. We operate from 5 to like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And usually it's just come in, try to test the weights out because the gym is a powerlifting gym. So they have the kilogram weights.
Explain.
And every single person, I mean, all the weights are in kilos instead of pounds.
Okay, understood.
For anybody that has never lifted a kilogram weight, I advise you to try it. It's not what you think it is. It's way heavier. And they use the thinner plates. So when you're used to doing 90-pound pull-ups with the two big 45s that blink, put 225 kilos and try the same thing. It's a
snaps,
lot
like
different.
that?
And
Okay.
I need them to come and try this out because that's what we're going to be using. Again, you take it seriously, you test out the equipment that you're going to be using. If you're going to play basketball in the tournament at the cage on West 4th, I advise you to go shoot a couple shots there. So if you plan on participating in this event, come try the gym out. So Friday is the day you could do that. If you need any other days to train, they still have open gyms. You can go there and pay the $30 and go. But Friday is the day that I'll show up there. I'll help a couple people that need some tips on getting better. Shout out to, the We in the Community people. They started popping up
Okay,
out there.
nice.
Yeah, that group.
Nice.
Shout out to
that young
Moose. Shout
crew.
out to Moose and all of the people that
Yes,
have been
yes.
popping up. So there's some interest there, but I want more. Like I said, all of those hundreds of kids that's in these parks, man, I want y'all to really start thinking about doing this calisthenic thing. And I understand how they manifest it, right? Because everybody thinks that it's like out of the blue. It's actually not. It's very strategically done, and I applaud them for that. very
I said some
strategically
cops
done.
involved. You know how I'm old school, but I was like, yo, somebody, the police out there, where you go
No,
from?
man, it's bike life. The
Okay.
bike life. Yeah, they explained it to
I'm
me.
old, so my bad. No
yeah,
disrespect to nobody.
So I mean, I love it because I mean I rock with the bikes too, man. I ride
Right.
I ride fixed gear, and I'm a past extreme sports person. So like I said, I appreciate everything that they're doing and what they've created. I just want some athletes.
You want some athletes.
So
No, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so CCA we're pushing. We're trying to do. We're trying
February
to
27th.
February 27th is going to be the first one, and then we're going to bring our whole line: power push, power pull. Power pull is out. I want power pull so bad that I'm almost about to dumb down the weight. They're scared of that 135. I know they're scared of that 135, but I'm like, do I have to post it to motivate people?
Heavy,
I
bro.
don't think so.
Everybody ain't built for it.
I get it, but if I dumb down the weight, I feel like I lost. You know what I mean? I feel like we lost because we got to set a certain standard, and we only want 3 reps. The scary part is when we did do Power Pull Classic, that's all Professor Pull-Up did was those 3 reps, and Wamu failed to do the 3rd one. So
Great equalizer.
and these were all lightweights.
Interesting. That's
And
why.
as strong as I see Dark Knight is right now, I'm gonna need y'all to step your game up. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Dark Knight is having a resurgence. The Dark Knight Rises is going on right now.
Look,
Y'all
he
ain't peeped.
is. You might think they call him Dark Knight.
So,
That man is always ready to perform
my
something
God.
amazing, man.
Yep. I like how he moves. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Good job. Hey, listen. I love all that. So February 27th, we're going to look forward to. Is it official CCA? Anybody can just pull up? How you going to structure it this
So
time?
that's the thing. Right now, we're using the gym space. So right now, we're looking to get the athletes to sign up first.
Okay.
Once we get a solid amount of athletes sign up, then we'll
Open
it
the
up
books.
for spectators and everybody else. Of course, you are welcome. Mayan
Of
Films.
course.
Needless to
We
say,
gonna pull
our boy
up.
Nigel.
No, we just going to pull up and hang out. I'll pull up
Yeah,
and
you
hang
know,
out.
the family's always welcome
exactly.
to come out. And we are looking to, of course, increase the cash prizes and bring in other sponsors
Okay.
and everything else. And the gym itself are looking. That's why we're working with them. The guy, the owner of the gym, Thomas, is an old friend. He's a very old friend of mine. I've known him from past gym that he worked at. And I've actually known him as long as the very first competition in Long Island.
Wow.
Shout out to Big Un.
Wow.
That was one of the first competitions that had like thousands of dollars worth of cash prizes. So I've known him since then.
Yeah.
So he is very interested in what I'm doing. So it's up to us to produce, man. And we need y'all help. We need athletes, man. That's all it is. It's a simple ask. Athletes.
Hey, listen, we setting it off again. It's the end of the year 2024, but like I said, this is kind of like the start for me. It never ends, like relentlessly. This is how we do this thing. It doesn't stop. Whoever thinks that it's gonna stop, it ain't.
Nah, false.
So get what Cat Williams say? I'm gonna be there, and you gonna be there. So we gonna be there. You dig what I'm saying? So that's how it's rolling. Pushing weight. I see the light. Hey, show the back of the shirt real
yeah.
quick, man. Real quick.
So this is an exclusive drop. Don't look for
man.
it. Don't look for
Home,
it.
baby. The gate.
Don't look for it. Don't look for it. Yeah. So shout out to Pushing Weight, of course.
Tough, boy.
The only one of these that's available is the 161. Is the Yankee Stadium one, and it's a dedication to all of the parks that Pushing Weight has supported and sponsored over the years.
Okay.
So this is potentially the second drop. It's the only one in history right now. I've had it for like 5 months. I decided to premiere it here on the show.
Fire. I appreciate the debut, baby. I love that. And that's what this is all about. Whenever athletes come here, we want them to promote their brands. Like I said, there's not too many. I don't know many of platforms that do it this way. So we definitely want you guys to be forward thinking when you come here. And this is what it's all about. Once again, this is Q Friends, and I just want to leave the people out there with some things because oftentimes when it comes to people that they look up to as OGs, people like us that are now at that age where responsibilities matter, we realize that so much is going on in the world. We were talking about the lady that was just set on fire on the train, current events. Nigel loves that. We didn't really get into it as much as we wanted to. The CEO getting killed, the president that we have now. You hear the sirens, right? We in the city. So much. People are dealing with so much. And sometimes it's easy to be depressed and knocked down. But I would say this, and I read this somewhere, where a person said, one doesn't curse the ocean because it is terrible. Yes, indeed, people do die in the ocean. Yes, indeed, it can be treacherous to travel. But instead of cursing the ocean, you build something in order to navigate because you know what you're gonna face. So I say to anybody out there that's dealing with something, like, yeah, I know it's hard, but work on your vehicle to navigate to get to where you want to go to. Don't just curse life because it's so hard, because yes, it is, but life is also beautiful. So stay focused, chin up, chest out, and build yourself up to get to where you want to get there. And I'll see you there, all right? Salute. Q friends, pushing weight, CCA.
Yo,
Thank you, my G.
appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you.
Always.
Calisthenics on caffeine, baby.